The smoothie sitting in your blender right now is a sugar bomb. 2 bananas, orange juice, strawberries. Your blood sugar will hit 220 within an hour. Your pancreas will dump massive amounts of insulin. You'll crash by mid-morning and reach for another snack. But if I gave you 7 different ingredients and told you to blend them in a specific order, your glucose would drop to 130 and stay there for 5 hours. Same blender, same format, completely different result. The difference isn't whether you drink a smoothie, it's what you put in it and how you combine it. Clinical trials prove this. When type 2 diabetics drink the right smoothie formula, post-meal glucose drops by 35% compared to eating the same food solid. The fiber slows absorption. The protein triggers hormones that improve insulin sensitivity. The healthy fats keep your glucose stable for hours. I'm going to rank all 7 ingredients, starting with number 7 and working up to number 1, the single most powerful blood sugar lowering ingredient you can add to any smoothie. But first, you need to understand what happens inside your body when you blend food versus eating it whole. This mechanism is why most smoothies fail and why this one works. Here's what happens when you drink a typical fruit smoothie. You blend 2 bananas, a cup of orange juice, some strawberries, maybe a scoop of protein powder. Pour it in a glass, drink it down in 5 minutes. That smoothie just delivered 60 to 80 grams of fast-absorbing carbohydrates directly into your bloodstream with almost no fiber intact. The blender shredded the fiber. The fruit cell walls broke down. The natural sugars, fructose and glucose, are now suspended in liquid form, ready for immediate absorption. Your stomach doesn't have to work. Your intestines don't have to break anything down. That sugar hits your bloodstream within 15 to 20 minutes. Your glucose spikes to 200, maybe 220. Your pancreas dumps massive amounts of insulin to deal with the surge. 2 hours later, your blood sugar crashes. You're hungry again. You're tired. Your body just went through a glucose roller coaster that created oxidative stress, inflammation, and insulin resistance. Now compare that to eating those same foods whole. You eat a banana, chew it thoroughly, swallow, the fiber is intact. Your stomach has to break down the food mechanically. Your intestines have to work to extract the sugars. That same banana takes 45 to 60 minutes to fully digest. The glucose enters your bloodstream gradually. No spike, no crash. This is why diabetics are told to avoid smoothies. But here's the thing, you can engineer a smoothie that behaves like whole food, not liquid sugar. You do this with 3 strategies. Strategy 1, fiber sequencing. You add ingredients with soluble fiber that form a gel in your stomach. This gel traps the sugar molecules and slows their absorption. Your smoothie becomes a slow-release glucose delivery system instead of a sugar bomb. Strategy 2, protein timing. You add protein that triggers GLP-1 release. This hormone slows gastric emptying, improves insulin sensitivity, and signals fullness to your brain. Your body processes the smoothie more efficiently. Strategy 3, fat stabilization. You add healthy fats that coat your intestinal lining and further slow nutrient absorption. Your glucose stays stable for hours instead of spiking and crashing. When you combine all 3 strategies with the right ingredients in the right ratios, you create a smoothie that lowers your blood sugar instead of raising it. That's what I'm about to show you. Let's start with ingredient number 7, raw spinach. Most people think spinach in a smoothie is just for vitamins. They throw in a handful because it's healthy. Wrong. Spinach is in this smoothie for one specific reason: thylakoids. Thylakoids are the membrane structures inside spinach chloroplasts. When you blend raw spinach, these membranes stay partially intact. They don't fully break down like fruit fiber does. Here's what they do in your digestive system. Thylakoids slow down lipase, the enzyme that digests fat. This creates a signal in your intestines that food is still being processed. Your body releases satiety hormones, GLP-1, CCK, PYY. These hormones tell your brain you're full. They also slow gastric emptying, which means everything in your smoothie gets absorbed more slowly. A study published in the Asterisk Journal of the American College of Nutrition gave overweight women a spinach extract high in thylakoids before breakfast. Post-meal glucose was 10% lower compared to a placebo. Insulin release was more controlled. Participants reported feeling fuller for longer. But here's the critical part. It has to be raw spinach, not cooked. Cooking breaks down the thylakoid membranes. You lose the benefit. Blending raw spinach keeps them intact enough to work. How much do you need? 2 packed cups of raw spinach per smoothie. That sounds like a lot, but spinach wilts down to almost nothing in a blender. You won't even taste it if you add it correctly, which I'll show you when we get to the blending order. This works especially well for seniors because as you age, your natural production of satiety hormones decreases. You feel hungrier more often, even when you've eaten enough. Thylakoids from spinach compensate for this by artificially boosting those hormone levels. Practical tip: buy pre-washed baby spinach in bulk. It's already cleaned, tender, and blends smoothly. Frozen spinach works too, but fresh has slightly more intact thylakoids. One more thing, spinach is high in nitrates. These convert to nitric oxide in your body, which improves blood vessel function and may enhance insulin delivery to your cells. It's a secondary benefit, but it adds up. So ingredient number 7, 2 packed cups of raw spinach, non-negotiable. Ingredient number 6, chia seeds. Chia seeds are one of the highest fiber foods you can add to a smoothie. 1 tablespoon gives you 5 grams of fiber. But it's not just any fiber, it's soluble fiber that swells when it absorbs liquid. Here's the mechanism. When chia seeds hit the liquid in your smoothie, they absorb up to 12 times their weight in water. They form a gel. This gel coats the inside of your stomach and small intestine. Glucose molecules get trapped in this gel matrix. They can't rush through your intestinal wall all at once. They trickle through gradually. A study in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition had type 2 diabetics consume chia seeds with bread. Post-meal glucose spikes were reduced by 39% compared to eating bread alone. The chia gel slowed carbohydrate digestion so effectively that glucose never surged. But there's a second mechanism at play here. Chia seeds contain alpha-linolenic acid, an omega-3 fatty acid. This improves insulin receptor function on your cell membranes. Your cells become more responsive to insulin, which means less insulin is needed to move glucose out of your bloodstream. How much do you need? 2 tablespoons per smoothie. Any more and the texture gets too thick, any less and you don't get enough gel formation. As you age, your intestinal motility slows down. Food moves through your digestive tract more slowly anyway. Chia seeds take advantage of this by creating a sustained release effect. Your glucose stays stable for hours because digestion is already naturally slower in older adults. Practical tip: add the chia seeds to your liquid base first. Water, unsweetened almond milk, whatever you're using. Let them sit for 5 minutes before blending. This pre-soaking starts the gel formation before you even add the other ingredients. Your smoothie becomes thicker, more filling, and more blood sugar friendly. One warning: if you're on blood thinners, talk to your doctor before adding chia seeds daily. The omega-3s have a mild blood thinning effect. For most people it's not an issue, but if you're on warfarin or similar medications, check first. So, ingredient number 6, 2 tablespoons of chia seeds, pre-soaked for 5 minutes. Ingredient number 5, Greek yogurt, full fat, unsweetened. Most diabetic smoothie recipes tell you to use protein powder. I'm telling you to use Greek yogurt instead. Here's why. Greek yogurt gives you protein and fat in one ingredient. The protein triggers GLP-1 release, which we already talked about, but the fat does something even more important. It activates a hormone called GIP, glucose-dependent insulinotropic polypeptide. GIP tells your pancreas to release insulin only when glucose is present. This is critical. You're not flooding your system with insulin when you don't need it. You're releasing insulin in precise amounts matched to the glucose load from your smoothie. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition compared high-protein, high-fat yogurt to low-fat yogurt in people with prediabetes. The full-fat yogurt group had 21% lower glucose spikes after meals and significantly better insulin sensitivity over 12 weeks. But here's the part most people get wrong. It has to be full-fat, not low-fat or fat-free. When you remove the fat from yogurt, You remove the satiety signal. You remove the GIP activation. You're left with just protein and a lot of added sugar because low-fat yogurt tastes terrible without sweeteners. How much do you need? Half a cup per smoothie. That gives you about 15 grams of protein and 5 grams of fat. This works especially well for seniors because as you age, your protein needs increase. You need more protein to maintain muscle mass, support immune function, and regulate blood sugar. Most seniors underconsume protein at breakfast, which is when insulin sensitivity is naturally highest. Adding Greek yogurt to a morning smoothie corrects this deficiency while stabilizing glucose. Practical tip: use plain unsweetened Greek yogurt only. Not vanilla, not fruit-flavored. Those have added sugars that defeat the entire purpose. If you find the tartness unpleasant, the other ingredients in this smoothie, especially ingredient number 2, will balance it out. One more thing, Greek yogurt contains probiotics. These beneficial bacteria improve your gut microbiome, which has been shown to enhance insulin sensitivity. A healthier gut means better glucose control. It's another secondary benefit that compounds over time. So, ingredient number 5. Half a cup of full-fat unsweetened Greek yogurt. Ingredient number 4. Frozen blueberries. Blueberries are the only fruit I'm recommending in this smoothie, and they're here for a very specific reason: anthocyanins. Anthocyanins are the dark purple pigments that give blueberries their color. They're not just antioxidants, they're insulin sensitizers. Here's the mechanism. Anthocyanins inhibit an enzyme called alpha-glucosidase in your small intestine. This enzyme breaks down complex carbohydrates into simple sugars. When you block it, carbohydrates get absorbed more slowly. Your glucose doesn't spike as high. A study in the Journal of Nutrition had type 2 diabetics consume blueberries daily for 8 weeks. Fasting glucose dropped an average of 7%. Insulin sensitivity improved by 22%. The anthocyanins literally retrained their cells to respond to insulin more effectively. But there's a second mechanism. Anthocyanins also reduce oxidative stress in your pancreatic beta cells. These are the cells that produce insulin. High blood sugar damages them over time. Anthocyanins protect them from that damage. Your pancreas stays healthier longer. How much do you need? 3/4 of a cup of frozen blueberries. Frozen, not fresh. Why frozen? Because freezing breaks down the cell wall slightly, which makes the anthocyanins more bioavailable. Your body absorbs them better from frozen berries than from fresh ones. This works especially well for seniors because as you age, your beta cell function declines. You produce less insulin, and the insulin you do produce works less efficiently. Blueberries slow this decline. They protect the beta cells you have left and help them function better. Practical tip: buy wild blueberries if you can find them. Wild blueberries have 30% more anthocyanins than cultivated blueberries. They're smaller, darker, and more tart. If you can't find wild, regular frozen blueberries work fine. One warning: blueberries do contain natural sugars, about 15 grams per cup. That's why we're capping it at 3/4 of a cup. Any more, and the sugar content starts to outweigh the benefits. Any less, and you're not getting enough anthocyanins to make a difference. So, ingredient number 4, 3/4 of a cup of frozen blueberries. Ingredient number 3, avocado. Avocado is the fat stabilizer in this smoothie. It's what keeps your blood sugar steady for 4 to 5 hours after drinking. Here's why it works. Avocado contains monounsaturated fats, the same type found in olive oil. These fats slow gastric emptying even more than the protein or fiber we've already added. Your stomach literally holds on to the smoothie longer. Nothing rushes into your intestines, everything digests slowly, evenly, steadily. A study in Nutrition Journal had overweight adults add half an avocado to their lunch. Post-meal glucose spikes were 26% lower compared to eating the same meal without avocado. Participants also reported feeling 23% more satisfied and were less likely to snack in the afternoon. But avocado does something else that's critical for diabetics. It improves your lipid profile. Type 2 diabetes doesn't just affect your blood sugar, it affects your cholesterol. High triglycerides, low HDL, small dense LDL particles all common in diabetics. Avocado improves all three markers. A study in the Journal of the American Heart Association had diabetic patients eat 1 avocado daily for 5 weeks. LDL cholesterol dropped by 13.5 milligrams per deciliter. HDL, the good cholesterol, increased slightly. Triglycerides stayed stable despite the added fat intake. This matters because diabetic seniors are at high risk for cardiovascular disease. Anything that improves both blood sugar and cholesterol is a double win. How much do you need? 1/4 of a medium avocado. That's about 60 calories of fat. It sounds like a lot, but it's what makes this smoothie filling enough to replace a meal. If you go lower, you'll be hungry an hour later. If you go higher, the texture gets too thick and greasy. This works especially well for seniors because as you age, your calorie needs decrease, but your nutrient needs stay the same or increase. Avocado is nutrient-dense, packed with potassium, magnesium, folate, vitamin K. You're getting essential nutrients in a small caloric package while stabilizing blood sugar at the same time. Practical tip: use frozen avocado chunks if fresh avocados go bad too quickly. Frozen works just as well, costs less, and you don't waste anything. Add them to the blender while still frozen. They'll make your smoothie cold and creamy without needing ice. One more thing, avocado is high in potassium. 1/4 of an avocado gives you about 250 milligrams. If you're on blood pressure medications or have kidney issues, check with your doctor before eating avocado daily. For most people it's fine, but potassium balance matters if your kidneys aren't functioning optimally. So, ingredient number 3. 1/4 of a medium avocado. Ingredient number 2. Cinnamon. Ceylon cinnamon, not cassia. Cinnamon is the ingredient that makes this smoothie taste good while lowering your blood sugar at the same time. Here's the mechanism. Cinnamon contains compounds called cinnamaldehyde and methyl hydroxychalcone polymer, or MHCP. These compounds mimic insulin's action on your cells. They help glucose move from your bloodstream into your cells without requiring as much actual insulin. A meta-analysis of 10 randomized controlled trials published in the Annals of Family Medicine found that cinnamon supplementation lowered fasting glucose by an average of 24 milligrams per deciliter in type 2 diabetics. The effect was dose-dependent: more cinnamon, bigger reduction. But there's a second mechanism. Cinnamon slows gastric emptying. It delays how quickly food leaves your stomach and enters your intestines. Combined with the fiber, protein and fat we've already added, cinnamon is the final layer of glucose control. Your smoothie becomes a sustained release system. How much do you need? 1 teaspoon per smoothie. Not a pinch, a full teaspoon. This works especially well for seniors because cinnamon also has anti-inflammatory properties. Chronic inflammation worsens insulin resistance. Cinnamon reduces inflammatory markers like CRP and TNF-alpha. Your body becomes less inflamed, your cells respond to insulin better, your blood sugar improves. Here's the critical part. It has to be Ceylon cinnamon, not cassia. Cassia cinnamon is what you find in most grocery stores. It's cheaper, but it contains high levels of coumarin, a compound that can damage your liver if consumed daily in large amounts. 1 teaspoon of cassia cinnamon every day for months can be hepatotoxic. Ceylon cinnamon, also called true cinnamon, has 250 times less coumarin. It's safe for daily use, even at higher doses. Practical tip: Ceylon cinnamon is more expensive, but it's worth it. Buy it online if your local store doesn't carry it. It's lighter in color than cassia, tan instead of dark brown, and has a sweeter, more delicate flavor. One more thing. Cinnamon masks the taste of spinach and Greek yogurt. If you've ever made a smoothie with spinach and found it too green tasting, cinnamon completely eliminates that. Your smoothie tastes like a berry cinnamon dessert, not a vegetable drink. So, ingredient number 2. 1 teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon. Now, ingredient number 1. Unsweetened almond butter. Almond butter is the most powerful blood sugar lowering ingredient in this entire smoothie. Here's why. Almond butter combines protein, fat and fiber in one ingredient, but more importantly, it contains magnesium. And magnesium is the master regulator of glucose metabolism. Here's the mechanism. Magnesium is a cofactor for over 300 enzymatic reactions in your body. At least 12 of those reactions are directly involved in glucose metabolism and insulin signaling. When you're magnesium deficient, which most diabetics are, your cells can't respond to insulin properly. It doesn't matter how much insulin your pancreas produces, your cells can't use it efficiently without magnesium. A study in Diabetes Care tracked 4,000 adults for 20 years. Those with the highest magnesium intake had a 47% lower risk of developing diabetes compared to those with the lowest intake. Among people who already had pre-diabetes, magnesium supplementation reduced progression to full diabetes by 71%. But here's the part that matters for this smoothie. 1 tablespoon of almond butter contains 75 milligrams of magnesium. That's about 20% of your daily requirement. When you add almond butter to a smoothie that already contains protein, fat and fiber, you create a synergistic effect. The magnesium enhances insulin signaling, the protein triggers GLP-1, the fat slows absorption, everything works together. A study in the Journal of Research in Medical Sciences had type 2 diabetics consume 30 grams of almonds, about 2 tablespoons of almond butter, daily for 12 weeks. Fasting glucose dropped by 6%. Insulin levels decreased by 4%. HbA1c improved by 0.2%. How much do you need? 1 tablespoon per smoothie. That gives you 3 grams of protein, 8 grams of fat, 75 milligrams of magnesium, and 2 grams of fiber. This works especially well for seniors because magnesium deficiency is extremely common in older adults. Medications like diuretics and proton pump inhibitors deplete magnesium. Kidney function declines with age, which affects magnesium balance. Most seniors need more magnesium than they're getting from diet alone. Practical tip: use unsweetened almond butter only. Many brands add sugar or honey. Read the label. The only ingredient should be almonds, maybe a pinch of salt, nothing else. If you're allergic to almonds, you can substitute sunflower seed butter. It has slightly less magnesium, but works similarly. One warning: almond butter is calorie dense, about 100 calories per tablespoon. If you're trying to lose weight, don't go above 1 tablespoon. If you add more, you'll get too many calories without additional blood sugar benefits. So, ingredient number 1, 1 tablespoon of unsweetened almond butter. You now know the 7 ingredients that lower blood sugar. But if you make these 4 mistakes, you'll cancel out every benefit. Mistake number 1, adding fruit juice or coconut water as your liquid base. I see this constantly. People think coconut water is healthy. It's marketed as natural and hydrating. It's also loaded with sugar. 1 cup of coconut water has 12 grams of sugar. Orange juice has 21 grams. Apple juice has 24 grams. When you add these as your liquid base, you're pouring sugar directly into a smoothie that's supposed to lower your blood sugar. Use water or unsweetened almond milk. That's it, no exceptions. Mistake number 2, adding bananas or tropical fruits. Bananas, mangoes, pineapples, papayas all spike your glucose rapidly, even when blended with the ingredients I just listed. Why? Because they're high glycemic fruits. They contain more sugar and less fiber than berries. 1 medium banana has 27 grams of carbohydrates. That's more than double what's in 3/4 of a cup of blueberries. If you add a banana to this smoothie, your glucose will spike 30 to 40 points higher than if you stick to blueberries only. Mistake number 3, using flavored Greek yogurt. Flavored Greek yogurt, vanilla, strawberry, honey, has 12 to 18 grams of added sugar per serving. That added sugar destroys the entire smoothie. You might as well drink a milkshake. Use plain unsweetened Greek yogurt only. Yes, it's tart. Yes, it takes some getting used to, but the cinnamon and blueberries balance out the tartness once everything is blended together. Mistake number 4, drinking this smoothie on an empty stomach without checking your medication timing. If you're on medications that lower blood sugar, insulin, sulfonylureas like glyburide or glipizide, drinking this smoothie without accounting for your medication timing can cause hypoglycemia. This smoothie lowers your blood sugar. Your medication lowers your blood sugar. Combined, they might drop you too low. Talk to your doctor before making this smoothie a daily habit. If you're on glucose-lowering medications, you may need dosage adjustments. The order you add ingredients to your blender matters. If you add everything at once and blend, you'll get clumps, uneven texture, and ingredients that don't fully incorporate. Here's the exact order. Step 1. Add your liquid base first. 1 cup of water or unsweetened almond milk. Step 2. Add 2 tablespoons of chia seeds. Let them sit for 5 minutes. Don't blend yet. This pre-soaks them and starts gel formation. Step 3. Add half a cup of full-fat unsweetened Greek yogurt. Step 4. Add 1 tablespoon of unsweetened almond butter. Step 5. Add 1/4 of a medium avocado. Step 6. Add 1 teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon. Step 7. Add 2 packed cups of raw spinach. Step 8. Add 3/4 of a cup of frozen blueberries on top. Now, blend on high for 60 to 90 seconds. The frozen blueberries will chill the entire smoothie. Everything will blend into a thick, creamy, dark purple drink. When to drink this? Drink this smoothie for breakfast, not as a snack. Your insulin sensitivity is highest in the morning. Your body is most efficient at processing glucose early in the day. A blood sugar-friendly smoothie for breakfast sets the tone for stable glucose all day. If you drink this as a mid-morning snack or in the afternoon, you won't get the same benefits. How often? 5 to 6 days per week, not every single day. Your body adapts to any intervention if you do it constantly. Cycling 1 or 2 days per week, where you eat solid food for breakfast, keeps your metabolism flexible. How to track results? Check your fasting glucose every morning before drinking the smoothie. Log it. After 2 weeks, calculate your average fasting glucose for the first week and the second week. Most people see a 5 to 15 point drop within 2 weeks. Also, check your glucose 2 hours after drinking the smoothie. It should stay below 140. If it's spiking above 160, you might be insulin resistant enough that even this smoothie isn't enough. Talk to your doctor about medication adjustments. Once you've made this smoothie as written for 2 weeks and tracked your response, you can experiment with small modifications. 1. Swap blueberries for raspberries, slightly lower sugar. 2. Add a tablespoon of ground flaxseed, extra omega-3s. 3. Use coconut yogurt instead of Greek yogurt if you're dairy-free, but make sure it's unsweetened and has similar protein content. But don't modify anything until you've tested the baseline version first. You need to know what works before you start changing things. Here's what happens metabolically when you drink this smoothie instead of eating a typical breakfast. In the first 15 minutes, the protein and fat hit your stomach. GLP-1 starts releasing. Your brain gets a satiety signal. You feel full almost immediately. At 30 minutes, the chia seed gel has formed in your stomach. Glucose from the blueberries is trickling into your bloodstream slowly, not surging. Your pancreas releases insulin in small, controlled pulses. No spike. At 1 hour, the anthocyanins from the blueberries are circulating in your blood. They're inhibiting alpha-glucosidase in your small intestine. Carbohydrate digestion is slowing even further. Your glucose stays stable. At 2 hours, the magnesium from almond butter is enhancing insulin signaling at the cellular level. Your cells are pulling glucose out of your bloodstream more efficiently. Your blood sugar stays below 140. At 4 hours, you're still not hungry. The combination of protein, fat and fiber has kept you satisfied through mid-morning. Your glucose hasn't crashed. You don't need a snack. Compare this to eating toast with jam or a bowl of cereal. You'd spike to 180 at 1 hour, crash to 85 at 3 hours, and be starving by 10 a.m. This smoothie gives you stable energy, stable mood, and stable blood sugar for half the day. Which ingredient surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments. Chia seeds, cinnamon, almond butter, or avocado. And if you're going to make this smoothie this week, comment, "I'm trying this."